Hello and welcome to another one of the Zoost videos. Today I'm going to be revisiting Brody, the partially sighted horse. I had a phone call from the owner to say that he'd done something silly. It's most likely he's slipped in the mud because horses being horses, when they're out enjoying themselves, they forget that they might have a problem. So they live very much in the now. So let's go straight to the video and see how he was getting on. So if we watch Brody walking away, first of all, drawn to the fact that he's not walking in what we call a two-track. So the back feet aren't following behind the front feet on the same side, so on the ipsilateral side. What he is doing is he's what we call crabbing. So he's veering off to the right with his back legs, in relation to the front end. It's quite a stilted walk, so he lifts the left side of the pelvis more than he lifts the left. Yes, I know he's on a track where there's a little bit of a camber, but there's not as much camber as you would think, and it's certainly not enough to give this problem. As we raise the camera up a bit, you can sort of see that the withers are leaning over to the right slightly more. Now, if we watch him coming back towards us, again, very stilted. You can still see this sort of near enough three-track that he's walking on. And the handler's trying to make him walk, because what he'd like to do is actually trot. And we don't want him trotting. We want to see what he can actually do in walk. But he's stiff through the shoulders. Most of that flexion you see with the front legs is actually coming from the elbows. He's partially sighted, so we know he's going to turn his head slightly. And although I've been told he's got less sight in his right eye, he seems to look to the handler all the time for confirmation. Now, if we look above, you can see there is a little bit of a curvature going on. And then if we try and watch him from behind, you can really feel that stilted action there where he's pegging with his back legs. So it's a stiff hind limb gait, and the front and the back end are not coordinated. So this all smacks of a small horse that's been racing around in the slippy wet weather and has probably slammed the brakes on because there's no evidence of anything else having happened. But you can really see he's not moving symmetrically through his body. The belly comes over to the right, there, and he's really struggling to do a nice smooth movement. And this is on an even piece of ground. If we look at sort of more the chest and the neck, again, he's finding this difficult. He's really not wanting to move. Now, if I talk about diagonals, so front right, left hind, front left, right hind. Those diagonals are not symmetrical on this horse. He really does not want to move smoothly through those, and it should be a nice fluid movement. That's the whole sort of ethos of these types of what would traditionally be prey species, quadrupeds, is that their movement needs to be as energy efficient as possible, and this definitely is not. Look at that back end. Look at how the body bends. There. Bends to the left, pushes the belly out to the right. And that's because he's trying to swing that left hind under the midline more. He's not got a leg in each corner, which is what we would ideally like to see. Again, we're going to try and view this from above, just to try and get that action. I was trying desperately to see if we could film over the withers, but it's very, very difficult. And if we watch him in trot, he's happier in trot, but it's very slightly lame. There's very more what I call uneven than lameness, but he does straighten up slightly. And that's because the movement with him is he's locking the spine more and using the legs. So instead of moving, using his whole body, the trot is more efficient for him, which is what he'd rather do. But then as he gets into a bit more the 3-track crabbing action returns. Now we'd turn him in a tight circle, and again, look, he's not turning his head properly into the circle. He's fidgeting it, and he's not really crossing over properly behind. He's trying to spin, so he moves the outer hind leg before the inner hind leg reaches that crossover point. And you watch it here, he's not really crossing over as such, just about. But look at the head and the neck, look at the way he's jumpy with his action. It's not by any means bad, but it's not good, and he sticks the nose out slightly. Now we'll try and get him to go backwards in a straight line, and he doesn't want to, so we'll try again. Look at that right hind. He does not want to move that right hind back very well, and he moves the left hind outwards, so laterally abducts it away from the body. Look at how he bunches up his bum, and he's really sort of twisting from just behind the withers. That action is going from and then bending through his body. Now, I've watched Brody move, but more interestingly, the owner has filmed what he's like first thing in the morning. And we're going to show you a clip of that, shot on a standard phone camera. But I think it's important for you to see just how lame he is when he first moves. Once he's moving, he looks a lot better. Obviously, you know, we can see the various things that have gone on, and I've talked through those on the clip that you're about to see. But he's not hopping lame. And then once you've seen those, we'll have a look at having a feel of him and treating him.